Greetings for the day. I am Dr. Manishi Mishra, a core member in Value Education Cell. So today we are going to co-explore and understand harmony in existence. What does it mean, harmony in existence? So we shall co-explore what exactly is existence, what is its design, so that we can ensure exactly what is our role and participation in this existence. So it is about realizing existence as coexistence, and this coexistence at all 4 levels of our living. So let's first understand what is existence, and then we shall go into the depth of its design. So let's see why we are exploring and trying to understand this existence, harmony in this existence. In previous sessions, we have been talking about our basic aspiration. And our basic aspiration is continuous happiness and prosperity. And this happiness means whenever we are in harmony within, whenever we are in peace within, we are happy. So, to be in harmony is happiness. And to be in harmony within oneself and to live in harmony, it is essential for us to understand the harmony in the entire expanse of our living. So that's why till now we have been exploring and understanding the proposals on harmony in human being, then harmony in the family, then harmony in society, and then harmony in nature and existence. So once we understand this harmony, we can ensure a program to live in harmony. That's why we are going to explore this harmony in existence today, and the process is very simple that we have been talking about since the very beginning of this program, that it is through self-exploration. And for self-exploration, investigating within, the tool that we have is our natural acceptance that is innate in us, which help us to verify whether whatever is proposed to you in terms of understanding harmony in existence is true to you or not. So you can verify it on the basis of your natural acceptance. And second way of verification is to live accordingly. While we talk of living, it means living in behavior with human beings and living with the rest of nature. When we go on living with human being, we do some behavior, and if it ensures mutual happiness, then the proposal is right. When we talk of working with the rest of nature, it ensures mutual prosperity, then the proposal is right. I am also getting prosperous, and in return, nature is also getting enriched, then the proposal is right. So with this process, we are going to understand the harmony in existence. But now one question that appears to all of us, that while we have talked about nature, where we explored and understood the all 4 orders, means talking about all the units in nature, sun, moon, plant, trees, animals, birds, human being, then what exactly is left to be understood? What is it that is still left after talking so much all about units? So let's investigate into it. And for that investigation, let us understand what this existence is, what we are calling existence as. So if we see existence, we'll see exist is whatever exists, is or to be, right? So whatever exists, it is in harmony, the essence is in harmony, it means it is in mutual fulfillment. So the entire existence, if we see, the existence is, or whatever is to be, is exists, and it is in harmony, it is in mutual fulfillment, that is existence. If we see it in Hindi, we call it astitva. Astitva, asti plus tva. Asti means whatever is, jo kuch bhi hai, that is asti, और त्व जब कहते हैं तो it means व्यवस्था. जो कुछ भी व्यवस्था में है, that is अस्तित्व or existence. So whatever is or to be in harmony is existence. So let us further explore it. What exactly is the design of this entire existence? We'll see that existence is coexistence, right? What does it mean? What is the coexistence of? So it is the what we are talking about is, we are talking about coexistence of units in space. So we have talked about units till now. We are talking about one more reality which we name as space. So it is, existence is coexistence of units that are submerged in space. Let's further get into the details of it and understand it better. What exactly do we mean by this? So let's get into some more details. Till now we have talked about units. So when we say unit, so we have identified that any unit has a boundary which makes us recognize it. Like say for this pointer, it's a unit. It has a boundary, a limitedness. It's a small unit. In the same way, if we see this specs, this is also a unit. It has a boundary with which we can recognize it. It has a limitedness, right? In this way, we can see that a unit appears separate from each other. We see pen separately, we see the spec separately, we are able to identify and recognize this pointer separately. This shows that every unit is separate from the other unit, which means every unit is in isolation, right, from each other. That's why we are able to recognize it, identify it. So whenever we focus only on the units, we see them in isolation. Separatedness and dividedness is seen. That's why we are able to identify all the units separately. And we are also able to identify what this unit, which order does this unit belongs to. Right. Now, the question that appears before us, if all the units are divided, separated, then are they related? This is another question. We see them separately, we see them divided, isolated. But the question is, are they related with each other? If you do remember, when we talked about harmony in nature, we could see there are 4 orders in nature. And these orders are interconnected, interrelated, interdependent. They are related with each other. But then the question is, what is the basis of all these relationships? How come they are related with each other? Is there any basis of their relatedness? So now see, to understand this, what is the basis of their relatedness? So one reality that we need to understand that remains undivided amidst these divided units is space. So we'll explore and understand the reality of this space, and we need to understand it also. So now we are going to let us get into the details of existence as coexistence. These units which are divided, which are separate, they are submerged in the one more reality which we didn't talk, which we'll explore in this session, that is space. So let's get into the details of it. So we can see that existence is coexistence, and this coexistence is ever present. What this ever presence means, we'll talk about it later on, but let's first understand that what are units? How come they are different from space? And what is the relationship of units with space? Is there any relationship between these two? So let's find out what exactly is unit, what are the characteristics of unit, and what are the characteristics of space. Let's get into the details of it. So we see around so many units in nature and existence. We see sun, moon, tree, plants, animals, birds, We also see human beings roaming around in the environment. We all are there. So these are all units. So how do we identify? We'll see that when we talk of unit, the units are always limited in size. इनका आकार सीमित है. कैसे? देखिए. This is a pointer. Is this unlimited in size or limited in size? This is limited in size, right? We all can see this. Say, for example, a tree. Is a tree which is bigger than this pointer limited in size or unlimited in size? We shall find that so bigger the unit is, but still it is limited in size. Let's say Earth. Earth is a bigger unit, but still, is it limited in size or unlimited? Howsoever the big this Earth is, but still we'll find that it can be recognized by its boundary and it is limited in size. Say, for example, Sun, which is much, much, much bigger than the planet Earth, but still it is limited in size. So we see that whatsoever the unit is, smallest unit or the biggest unit, we'll find that it is limited in size. So all the units are, they characterized by, if we go by the size, they are limited in size. Now let's move on to space. What about the space? First, let's explore what the space is. What is there in between me and you? It is a space, right? You move out and see towards sun because it's winter season and we feel comfortable sitting in the sunlight. So when we see towards the sun, what is there in between sun and us? It is a space. At night, if you go on your roof and see at the moon, you'll find that there is space between moon and you. And you further look, you'll find that there is space between moon and stars also. But if you get into the depth of it, you'll find that space is not just between you and me, sun and us, not between moon and us. Space is not just between moon and stars or between the stars. If we get into the depth, we'll find that space is everywhere. It is all pervading. It is everywhere, and these sun, moon, earth, other planets, galaxies, Milky Ways, stars, they are embedded in this space everywhere in their defined space as defined by nature. They are there. So we can see that space, we cannot say this is your space, this is my space. We cannot, even put this is my space, it can be placed there. This is your space, this space can be placed there. No, it is all pervading. It is everywhere. It is aseem. हर जगह है, कण कण में है, ये है ही. So space is everywhere. It cannot be limited. We don't see any boundary to it. That's why we call it all-pervading, unlimited, because there is no boundary to define it. It is all-pervading. So this is one difference between the units and space. Let's move a little bit further and see what is it that makes units different from the space. Talking about units, you'll find that units are activity in itself and they are active also. What does it mean? Say, for example, we can take some example like tree. Are there any activity going on within the tree? So you'll find, yes, it is activity, various activities are going on within the tree. But is it also active with its surrounding environment? So like, say, for example, the roots, the relationship of tree with the soil. Is it active there? Yes. So roots are there in the soil. they are actively participating, recognizing its relationship with the soil, and absorbing water, minerals, nutrients, and throwing them upward towards the stem, towards the branches, towards the leaves, and the entire process. So we'll find that tree is activity in itself, and it is active with soil also. What about the gases? We'll find that tree is not just activity in itself, but it is also active with the gases around, right? So it is absorbing carbon dioxide and releasing oxygen, purifying the environment for us to survive, right? So in this way, we find that they are also active. So what is the relationship of tree with the sun? Is it active there? So we'll find, yes, it is active there also. What about the any table? Or let us see this example, the pointer which is there in my hand, so I can easily show it to you. Or you can see the table or the chair on which you are sitting. Is there any activity going on there? Is it active? What do you feel like? What do you see? Yes, at first glance, we find there is no activity. This smart board, the table, the chair, we see that at a first glance, we find that there is no activity in it. But let us explore it further. This table or chair or this pointer, it is made up of some molecular structure. And these molecules, if we see the smallest particle, we'll find that it is made up of atoms. Molecules are made up of atoms. Atom is the smallest orderly unit. So what about the electrons, the subparticles of this atom? Are they sitting dumb at their places or are they active? We'll find they are not dumb. They are not stable at one place, but they are revolving around their own axis and also taking a round or in their defined orbit. They are moving around in their defined orbit also. It means the smallest particle that is also active in itself. That's why we can say the table or this pointer, this is active in itself. But what about the activity that is it recognizing its relationship with the environment, and is it active also? So what if we leave a chair or a table for say for 5 years, 10 years or 15 years? What will happen to it? Will it remain the same in its volume, density, or will it start deteriorating, losing its density and the volume? What will happen? Yes, your guess is right. It will start deteriorating. So it means it is active with the external environment, the gases, the sunlight, the moisture, whatever is there in the environment, it is also active with it. That's why it gradually starts deteriorating, because its activity in itself and active with the surrounding. Right? But what about the space? Is it active? Is it in activity? Let us explore this. Space is no activity. It has no activity of itself, and that's why we also name it Shunya. Shunya means it is not like nothing. इसलिए हम इसको शून्य बोल रहे हैं. It is not about nothingness, but it simply means that it has no activity of itself. Rather, it is the activity is available in space. That's why the units are active in space. So there is no activity in space. Let us once again frame it. We see that existence is coexistence, and this coexistence of units submerged in space. When we go on seeing the characteristics of unit, we find that units are limited in size, howsoever the smallest or the bigger unit is, but still they are limited in size. Units are activity in itself, and they are active also with their surroundings, their environment. But when we see the space is unlimited, it is all pervading, it is everywhere. There is no place where space isn't there. So now, after exploring the characteristics of units and space, now let us see what is their interrelatedness or what is their interconnectedness. Or I can also use another term, this is submergence. What does it mean, units submerged in space? And for this, we'll understand the relationship of unit and space. But before discussing this, let me put one question to you. Think on it, reflect on it. Are these units in space or are these units out of space? Where are they? Very tricky question, isn't it? But yes, when we talk of submergence, we'll find that units are in space. They are submerged in space. And being in submergence, what does it imply? It implies three things. The submergence implies three things. Number one, every unit is energized in space. Being in space, units are energized. What do you think? Like, say, for example, our planet Earth. Is it energized or is it active? Or do we have to provide some energy through some thermal power plant? No, we are not doing any such thing. We don't have that capacity to provide, some power to this planet to give it energy to rotate on its own axis and take orbit around the sun. It's not possible. But we see by virtue of being in space, Earth is energized in space. It's activity and it's active with other planets, other galaxies or celestial bodies in this space. One more example we can take, say for example, human body. Is it energized or do we have to provide energy to it? We'll find that if we see the body, it is energized, it is active, it is an activity in itself. So many activities are going on, respiration, digestion, pulsation, all these activities are going on in the body. Do we have to provide energy for it or it is going on by way of being submerged in a space? So we'll find that we are not providing any energy to it. It's energized in space. What about self? Self is energized or we have to provide energy to it. So we see that there are the activities of imaging, analyzing, comparing, selecting, tasting. All these activities are going on in the self. We don't have to provide any energy to it, nor we are providing. But we can assume that the body is providing energy to the self. And body is getting food, so body is energized. But just think of it. So when the body is ill, sick, and it is on bed, what happens to the energy of the self? Does it slow down or it remains the same? The activity of self keeps going on continuously. So we'll find that even though the body is sick, but the activity of the self is continuous. So self is energized. Being by virtue of being in a space, self is also energized, body is also energized, tree is also energized. We don't have to provide some power backup to be for these activities or to the tree or to any of the unit. What about sun? We can say such a big example. Is the sun energized or we have to provide some power backup for its energy? So you'll assume or you can also say that it is due to the fusion of the hydrogen, it is getting the energy. But then the question appears, where is the hydrogen getting the energy then? If the earth is getting energy from the sun, then what is it that is providing energy to the sun? If hydrogen fusion and hydrogen is providing energy to the sun, then what is it that is providing energy to the hydrogen atom? So ultimately, we reach there, it is energized, being in space. By virtue of space, every unit submerged in space is energized. Another aspect of submergence, so every unit being submerged in space is self-organized in space. So हर यूनिट शून्य के सह अस्तित्व में नियंत्रित है और स्वयं में व्यवस्था भी है. Say for example the planet Earth. I'll again and again take you to these units so that we can explore them and understand them, because we need to, some of the things that cannot be seen through eyes directly, but they can be realized. So you can reflect upon it, whether it is so or not. So every unit is self-organized in a space. What does it mean? Human body, is it self-organized, or we do have to organize it? In our body there are 206 bones. What if we have this responsibility of organizing it? Would we be able to organize and take an account of all these 206 bones? It's very difficult and challenging. But if we see, our body is so well organized, so well structured and designed, we don't have to organize it. By virtue of a space, being in a space, our body is self-organized. What about a tree? Is it self-organized, or do we have to organize it? No, it is self-organized. All its activities are going on. It is activity, it is active, it is self-organized by virtue of being in a space. We don't have to organize it, where to plant it, where the roots have to take place, where do they have to go under the soil, or where the branches have to appear. We don't have to organize it all. We are so blessed that all the units are self-organized in space. We don't have to organize them. It's such a beautiful gift of nature. Say, animal body, do we have to organize it, or it is organized in itself? By virtue of being in a space, animal body is organized. In this way, if we reflect, we'll find that every unit in this nature and existence is self-organized by virtue of being in space. Right? So one more thing which gives us the meaning of, true meaning of submergence of units in a space. What is it? We'll find that every unit recognizes its relationship with other units and fulfills its relationship with every other unit in a space. So one unit, say for example, the relationship between Earth and the Sun. We'll see that Earth recognizes its relationship with the Sun and fulfills it. We don't have to make it, that you have to remain at this distance, Earth has to be here, it has to take, it has to revolve around the Sun from this orbit or at this much distance. We don't have to do it. It is all going on by virtue of a space. Sun is recognizing its relationship with Earth. Earth is recognizing its relationship with Sun and fulfilling it. In the same way, the relationship between Moon and the Sun, it is automatically, by virtue of being in space, they recognize this relationship and fulfill it. What about this self? If we see, self is also a unit. It is a consciousness unit. It recognizes its relationship with the body and fulfills it. We take the onus, the activities of the self, if they are in harmony within, if they are guided by the higher activities, that is natural acceptance, accordingly, we recognize our relationship with the body and fulfill it in terms of taking the responsibility of nurturing it, protecting it, and rightly utilizing it. So it is this recognition of relationship is by virtue of being in space. So the units, they are in space, they recognize this relationship and fulfill it. We don't have to do anything. It all happens as a gift of nature to us. Are you able to see this? Just do reflect on it, because this is the reality that we need to understand. We cannot see through our senses only, by our eyes, but we can realize it. So just reflect on it. And with this reflection, now we can further see the existence is coexistence, and there are units. Units are submerged in space. So space is unlimited. It is all pervading. It is everywhere. It is in every particle. Units cannot be separated from the space. You cannot take out any unit out of the space. It is there. It will, wherever you take any unit, it will always remain in the space only. You cannot separate unit from space. This is such a beauty of this coexistence. Units are limited in size, while space is unlimited. Units are activity, they are active. But then if we see the kind of units, we'll find that there are two kinds of unit. One is material unit, and another kind of unit that we see around is consciousness units. Material unit have two activities. They recognize the relationship with other unit and fulfill it. But when it comes to consciousness unit, the recognition and fulfillment of consciousness unit depends upon its knowing and assuming. So if we know, accordingly our assumption becomes definite based on knowing, and accordingly our recognition and fulfillment is definite. But then if we see in terms of time and space, the material units are temporary. We have already seen that composition and decomposition continuously takes place, making it temporary. So material units are temporary in terms of time and space. They keep changing. But for consciousness unit, if we see that consciousness, need of the consciousness is continuous, its activities are continuous, and the self is, or the consciousness unit is continuous in time and space. But when we talk of a space, it is ever. It is always there. It is unbounded in time and space. Ye hai hi. It is there. It is always there. We just have to understand it, realize it, and live accordingly. So with this detailing of this existence as coexistence, we see what we have discussed today. This is, I have already summarized, but you can go through these points. Take a pause, reflect on them, and understand this existence as coexistence, whether it is temporary, whether it is continuous, or whether it is always there. It is ever present. You can reflect and understand it. Thank you so much for today. Once you reflect on it, we'll get into the details of this coexistence in further session. Thank you very much. Have a great day.